Alright, so, new month. Month means a new gaming vlog, and I've also finally reached a decision on my 250 subscriber special subject. I mean, whichever one I do not end up doing will be done at a later date. So, this time it's going to be a mixture of what I've been playing and other developments there have been in the e-business. Some are pleasantly surprising, others not so much, and that includes one I've been meaning to address. So let's begin. Let's start with the one that's been making the rounds for the past week or so. That's in light of their numerous losses of hundreds of millions of dollars. There's WB Games is being restructured, which unfortunately means the closure of three studios. I'm already going to be talking about Player First's demise in my Multiverses Postmortem in May. Hey, but there were two other ones. There was the WB San Diego branch. To my knowledge, those people have been reassigned, but uh, the other studio, which ended up being closed with all its employees being laid off, that ended up being Monolith, the developers of many successful titles. Titles with my personal favorites being the Shadow of Middle Earth duology, both Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. And while it remains to be seen what will be done with the Nemesis system, as the patent for that is still in effect until 2036, the earliest. This mean whether or not they want to keep it and not keep it as is, or just license it out to someone else. However, the most disappointing part to me was that the Wonder Woman game they're working on, which would have potentially used the system in some way, and also bore some similarities to God of War, which actually makes sense with Diana's character, her ended up getting cancelled. After many years of development, and also the company is planning to focus on the core brands of Wizarding World, Mortal Kombat, Batman, and Zombies and Fire. Here, I think the Wonder Woman one is most disappointing to me. The Flash being pulling out for them, fair enough. Because even with the CW show being very prominent, I'd say the movie's failure damaged that brand significantly to the point where they're holding off on how they're going to be handling the character with DCU. And David Haddad was apparently causing a lot of problems with the company. A lot of people are focusing on his mismanagement and less so on David Zaslav and Gunnar Wiedenfels, which, alright, you do you guys. But for the record, Zaslav, Wiedenfels, you definitely oversaw a lot of this mess, and I know the problems did not start or end with you two, but if I'm being completely honest, you absolutely share some of the blame here. And before I get to heated, I thought I'll switch to something a bit more pleasant that just dropped today, even. Well, a lot of people doubted how did this would happen and claim that no one wanted this outcome, but wouldn't you know it, I once going to reserve the right to say I was right. Right, it seems that now that Activision is associated with Microsoft, one of my safe bets that's for Games Revive ended up coming to fruition. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 Plus 4, following up the acclaimed successful Pro Skater 1 Plus 2, which not only includes both of the classic games in their entirety in high resolution, but it also has a selection of new parks that were not present and in the original releases. As main, and while may not be able to have have Darth Maul or Jango Fett in there anymore for licensing reasons. And and one thing that they are putting in there is having like the Doomslayer here and the Revenant, and nice little cross promotion with the upcoming Dark Ages. I guess you could also say they're gonna rip and shred until it's done, huh? Huh. Anyway, the game is coming out this July across all currently available platforms. So, which also does line up with what I've been hearing, that there's going to be fewer timed exclusives in the ecosystem, and more simultaneous launches, not just Xbox and PC, but also on PlayStation and Switch as well. Well, especially since ActiBliz pledged support for the Switch 2 as well. Well, since I may have my issues with Microsoft's video game division as of late, but I'm still working on how, as a whole, I think they kind of lost the plot. But this is not one of them. Um, I look forward, or even as someone who was skeptical of the previous one initially, I'm pleasantly surprised, much like I was with like the remasters of the Crash and Spyro trilogies. And I'll definitely keep an eye on this one, so to speak. And now I'll get into what I'm currently playing, starting with the essential PlayStation Plus games of this month. Okay, so I guess I'm not entirely surprised. Hi, is that Dragon Age of Veilguard? Heard is already here, given how it, my understanding, it did not do so hot, but whatever helps it get more in the black will suffice. And but I'll admit it does put the next Mass Effect on a lot more pressure on that being to succeed, which was also coming off Anthem and by proxy coming off Mass Effect Andromeda. So on a more pleasant note, as you saw on my Shell Stream test, I was also playing in Sonic Colors Ultimate, at which runs a bit smoother on PlayStation than it does on Switch, but still, hell, I think it's gonna be a while. Hell, I'll talk about that one which is, it's kind of peculiar how this one turned out. But I am also quite thankful for another one of also, even though I physically have it on Switch as well, it seems like Cowabunga Collection is also one of the choice for PS4 as well. So that saved me about $30-$40 right there, which, given and how dicey things might be, I'm not just talking about eggs either, her is actually, I'll take whatever I can get. I'm just kind of glad that the next the next Marvel collection, no, the next Capcom Fighting Collection, get it right. It's not coming out till May, so I just got excited for it. Uh, they had me on the Power Stone duology alone, and Pokemon Legends ZA is also not going to be out until fall. So I still will make an educated guess that it'll probably be October, November, so quarter 4. And I also reiterate that I would argue that the real-time combat mechanics have more in common with Persona than Xenoblade, since I made it quite clear that I'm really not into that franchise. Like, anyone who's getting like the definitive addiction of X, enjoy it. I'm not trying to stop you doing so. Oh, I think that makes a good enough segue, for the Switch when I'm playing on that front. I am this close to beating Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Naturally, the later stage I'm on are quite tough, and yes, I can say I'm satisfied enough with it that even with the discourse over the credits and whether or not it goes extra mile as a remaster. I mean, it basically met my expectations. I mean, with the 720p in handheld mode, 1080p in dot mode, and running at a fairly consistent 60 frames per second. Both that and Jedi Power Battles have also captured a lot of attention for me lately. I'm also getting ready for the next big run in Splatoon 3. Hey, with Wahoo World, once again, it falls to us, the players, to be the first, last, and only line of defense against Salmonids. And I also started playing both Pokemon Unite and Kairi Remix again with the anniversary event still in effect. I mean, I'm still, in Unite's case, still stacking coin to unlock more characters, and I also started doing like a free rotation, kind of some other ones have. And that's coming from someone who, again, has no real plans to play any other kinds of MOBAs. Has been. I'm still trying to figure out all the other terminology, like jungling and lanes, personally. Like I said before, it's one of the subjects where the most of my knowledge can basically fit on a cocktail napkin that I'd be scribbling on, over potato skins or whatever else I would decide to have that evening. And I also decided to really work more on my 360 Driver Special, which is also on the console. And I definitely can say I feel confident dedicating this one to my grandmother Carolyn, and my focus is going to be largely on that as my major one. And work has begun on my Mission Impossible marathon before the Final Reckoning comes out, as a bit of an aside there. And definitely, and we'll have more to say for Win or Lose as well. Tomorrow, which is when the next couple episodes drop. I mean, and yes, I am planning on watching the Daredevil revival once it goes live, so there's that. So no worries there. And I also am still working on playing the PS2 clusters of the Warriors game, which is finally got past that mission I was stuck with the on Soho, and definitely still really appreciate how that game managed to not only faithfully adapt the movie, but also provide a lot of its own variety in terms of missions. And it's like basically like a smaller scale one of their titles, and made sense for Rockstar, especially to work on the game with their Toronto branch. And also, while I'm on the subject, one last bit of gaming news I got up where it turns out that they've actually bought out Grocery Games officially. They previously partnered with them, but now they've been renamed Rockstar Australia, uh, and definitely he can guarantee that whatever happens next, especially with GTA 6 to be highly anticipated, that will not involve any unintentionally horrifying, blocky pandas either. Yeah, I'm still resigning myself to the idea that the Minecraft movie is going to be bad, and we just need to accept that collectively. Hey, anyway, that's all I got to say for now. Still again soon. Take care, everyone. Mm-hmm.